Greetings everyone, apologies for the slight delay. YouTube decided to be a silly billy and give us a different stream video, so I've spent the past 10 minutes looking at a stream that was never going to come. But welcome one and all to the next round of the Power F1, sponsored by Artemis Esports, Kappa, Pro Series Championship in Season 5 here at Power F1. We are about 6 minutes into qualifying. As I say, unfortunately we had a bit of a delay on the stream, but we appear to all be sorted now. I'm your host Lars, flying solo again for this week, and I will be taking you around the streets of Baku and keeping you company through what's sure to be a very exciting race. Just very quickly looking down the grid for our drivers today, we have James Taylor, Lil Glona, Casito, I Am Quicker, Lil Gissa, Benjo, Emre, as he bounced up the order there, Gamma B, Tixie, Catastropheus, JTK, Bradley Liners, Rocco, Zilly, TDM, Persegili, Mali, Rickety and Roy. Mostly familiar faces, but a couple of new ones. Obviously joining, we've had quite an influx of drivers in the league, as we recently had a joining up of 2 leagues. We have effectively absorbed another one. Yes, we are nothing but a filthy monopoly deep down, just like real life F1. And we will be getting a massive influx of drivers and some big changes to the league. Both tiers will stay as they are for this season, but hopefully we'll have a few more things that we're able to give you guys and those new drivers throughout the season. I'm just looking for the official announcement here. It was WRD League that had folded, and we have taken in their drivers and expanded the league ever further, so good news there. But back to the trackside action. Most drivers have only done their banker laps here in Baku. James Taylor currently the fastest with a 140.8. Roy has also done a lap. Lil Glona, Casito quicker. Emre, Gissa and Gamabi have all set laps. We've got some drivers on out laps. I'm just trying to find who exactly is where. We've got one of the McLarens, that's Rocco, heading down the back straight to finish his lap, and that's a 41.2. And his teammate Rickety just on an outlap. Massive thanks to Rickety. He's missed actually the first part of this session because he was trying to help me with the technical difficulties. So much like how Sebastian Vettel and Alonso can be their own race engineers, we've got Rickety here being the FOM as well as being the driver. And we'll just watch him turn around while I'm just setting up these final few things. Casito asking, in case he's watching the stream, why formation lap is off. We've had glitches in the previous races. They still do not seem to have been fixed from the previous games, so for safety and just making sure we don't have to waste time restarting the lobby like we did last week, we will just run without formation lap. If I can just find the standings, here we go. Pro standings, here we are. And the message has been deleted, I swear. Yeah, apparently standings have been deleted, unfortunately. I was going to look and see what position the drivers were in the championship, but I believe at the minute it's Bradley. Oh yes, of course, because the first race wasn't classified, my apologies. So Bradley, our current championship leader, Persegili, his nearest rival. The two were very close last time out in Imola. Be interesting to see how they do today. Just a little reminder, of course, for everyone. This is the pro scene. We do full quali sessions in this championship. Challenger only do a short qualifying session. So since this is Q1, we will be losing the bottom 3 drivers, 18 drivers in the session. Only the top 15 go through, so we will lose 3 drivers at the end of this session. And then the remaining 15 go through to Q2. And Rickety much more safely through so far. Currently P6 as Tixie. Wastes no time in getting to the top of the timesheets. Rickety better get out of the way of that Mercedes. Which is... that is Persegili. Very near to the wall there. And sorry folks, just still setting up a few wee things here. Get the YouTube up on my phone so that I can actually see the chat. May as well exit out of it on here. Apologies, folks. Oh dear, constant interruptions, but even the promise of ice cream will not get me away from my combox. And of course, while I'm away, we have a DNF. Little Gissa, it appears, has blown up into the wall. I didn't see where that was, unfortunately. But unless the bottom three do not set a time, that'll be Little Gissa out of qualifying. What a shame for the Alpha Tauri driver. Meanwhile, Persigili is fastest on the timesheet, unless Bradley can do something about it, and we catch him coming down into this awkward downhill section, and lightly grazing the wall there, actually. A little bit too ambitious, as he comes around what's effectively the final corner. Yes, there are two little small corners coming onto the back straight, but at that point, you might as well just ignore them. I have a ping here. Who is messaging me? It is someone in Tier Chat Pro. Sorry, some drivers just need the link here. I do apologise for the way this is going so far. And there we are. That should be that sorted. Yeah, some drivers thought they were on, but we were still on the old link. But anyway, back to the action. Bradley only going P8 at the minute, and invalidating on his lap if he was going for another one. I don't think he was, though. He's not burning any ERS, and you can see the red light at the back, meaning he's charging. Whether he'll go for a second run, don't know if he'll have the ERS to actually do it. He's down to 44%, and that was with recovery. So the only drivers not to sell up at the minute are Benjo, who is currently doing one, and Zilly, as Enray has also retired from the session, and Tixie has retired as well. Now, I think Tixie retired in the pits, but Emre, I'm pretty sure, retired out on track. So all Benjo and Ziley need to do is set a time fast on those two, and they are guaranteed safe. Gamma B currently the only one in the drop zone who can still get out of it, so to speak. And Benjo aborting his lap and bailing for the pit lane. Mali has also retired in the pit lane. Lower drivers retiring here. As Zilly, whatever, in the Aston Martin, new for this week, comes round turn 1, and we'll see what they can do. It's amazing how wide the track looks whenever you're watching from the TV camera's perspective, but when you're on board, it feels so much tighter. It's actually quite impressive. Persigili also retires. A lot of drivers calling it quits early on here. We do have time for another lap potentially, but they're not taking it. Gamma B is on the lap, looking to improve. Benjo's going to have to come out very quick if he wants to do a lap, and he has indeed pulled out of the pits. There he is. Gamma B Needs to find... Well, if he wants to get ahead of the ones who are definitely out, he needs to find at least just over a tenth. The Alpine making its way round onto the back straight. Already revving out the engine to max. The engine's screaming down the straight. And he goes P11. That should be good enough. JTK is a bit at risk now. Lil Glissa, as we say, Lil Glissa, sorry, as we say, is definitely out. Benjo on his outlap. Rocco retires, so he's done. As does Rickety. Zilly goes to P10, so that means that Emre is definitely out. JTK is at risk. I Am Quicker's at risk, and potentially Casito as well. And Catastrophes is retired. And that is in... His teammate will see him on board. Oh no, he's blown up at Castle. The car just disappeared, but we saw it on the map there. He's Leclerc'd it. So all Benjo has to do is go faster than Catastrophes, and he's guaranteed to go through. And come to think of it, everyone else can now abort their laps, because even if Benjo improves to, say, pole, they're all safe. It's all down to Benjo. If he doesn't improve enough, I don't know whether Catastrophe is actually able to take part in Q2, or whether it classifies his car as completely destroyed and sits him out. So JTK is still going faster. He may as well on the set tires, I suppose, but he can back off. So can I Am Quicker. So can Casito. We really don't need to do this, but I suppose they may as well get the practice in. As Benjo enters into Sector 2. This tight and twisty part. Watch the curve on the inside there. Don't hit the wall on exit. He brakes surprisingly early for this tight 90-degree right-hander. You can take quite a bit of the curve, but just be careful of the track limits. And now up to Castle. And he's kept it clean. That was very smooth. And then a hard braking at the top of the hill. Don't pick up too much dirt on the outside on exit. Downhill section, that's nice and clean. One more corner, one more proper corner to navigate. Apparently purple in Sector 2 there from Benjo. And then just two little flicks. 1, 2. And a small, very minuscule kink to the right, and now you just floor it all the way to the line, and this should be good enough for Benjo to get through. Is it not? It's P9, so he's definitely through. Oh! Sorry, I don't know how I Am Quicker has ended up down there. That's strange the way it jumps about, but anyway, I Am Quicker. Oh, because it actually goes by... I see, right, okay, so yes, it's actually going by the times there now when they cross the line. Is it not? No way, because Catastrophe was technically quicker there. I'm slightly confused, I must be honest. We'll find out what way the game wants it to work. Let's see, I Am Quicker goes 11th. And Casito was technically behind on Catastrophe's time. But is he classified ahead? He's not. Casito is officially classified behind Catastrophes on the time chart, but Catastrophes is also listed as being out because he blew up his car, so we'll only have 14 in the next session. And that's a bit of a shock for Catastrophes and for Casito. But anyway, first blood to Persigili, Tixie right up there with him. And where's Bradley? Bradley's P8. Doesn't matter too much right now, but if that's an indication of his pace for later on, he might well want to be a bit worried. He did say he wasn't as good around here as he is at, say, the likes of Imola. But then this is Bradley we're talking about, so... Meanwhile, James and Gamma B are having a verbal spat. All in good humour, of course. Gamma B saying, "Cold blood, haven't played the game in 10 days, hopped on in 5 minutes through Q1, I am the GOAT." And James saying that he's washed. And apparently had also sent a message to him saying that he was going to be out in Q1. Well, you may as well eat your helmet now, James Taylor, because Gamma B is through. So 14 drivers on account of the unfortunate antics of Catastropheus. And who is first out on track? It's one of the Aston Martins. It's Zilly, one of our new boys who made it through, along with his teammate I Am Quicker. So both Aston Martins being driven by newbies, it seems. Not newbies, I should specify, newbies. There is a difference. One lacks skill, the other is just brand new to the league. And we'll watch Zilly coming round. And we'll take you on a little onboard lap when he starts his banker run. So, who will be quick, who will be slow, and who will blow up into the wall? Let's find out. Down the back straight, you're already maxing out 8th gear as you come down to turn 1. Flat out as fast as the car will go, across the lines. Use the curve just slightly on the outside to slow yourself down. You want to very nearly touch that wall, but don't run wide on exit and hit the other wall. Very heavy braking zone to the left-hander, and you can see there he was too late on the brakes. Activate DRS as Zilly tries to recover his rear end there, in every sense of the word. Another long back straightaway, another hard, heavy braking zone to the left-hander. You can go down the escape road to save yourself, but if you turn in and it's not going to work, you're going straight into a wall. 90-degree right-hander, and that's the end of Sector 1 as we come into Sector 2. Slow and twisty. Go up against the curve, that one will be fine. This one, the inside, you can bump it, but it will unsettle the cars. You just saw happen to Zilly there. And don't run wide on exit into the wall. Brake deceptively early for this very tight right-hander. You can take quite a bit of the curb. And then a short straight down into Castle. Left, blind left-hander, very slight left-hand kink, very easy to clip the wall on either side and basically shear a tyre off. Don't go too wide on the exit at the top of the hill, that's a dirty part of the track. Even though it looks like tarmac, you will spin up the rears. Be as brave as you dare through the left-hander, and somewhat earlier on the brakes than you think, because that downhill section carries the momentum of the car and it's very easy to smash into the wall, especially in wet conditions. One more tight 90-degree left-hander, and then you come back out onto the back straight. A little kink to the right, left, right. Try and hit every apex without hitting the wall. Watch out for the wall on exit on the left there. There's a little part that juts out, and instead of your car just rubbing up against it, you will just catapult yourself into next Tuesday as the car goes airborne every time someone hits that wall. Full throttle down to the line, and it's a 142.8 for Zilly. Behind him, Tixie immediately smashes that with a 40.2. But you can see where he lost a lot of the time as Rickety goes P2 now, 1.1 behind. You see where he lost a lot of the time. You saw him fighting the car, understeering, oversteering, constantly trying to correct the rear just from riding those curbs. They're not 2020 levels of deadly, but the curbs are still quite a risk. Benjo goes P3, and we've got yellows as Benjo slows down to let other drivers through. I Am Quicker 2 seconds off of the fastest time of the session. Gamma B to the line, getting a nice tow from his teammate there, and that gets him P4 as he backs off. His teammate Roy starting his lap, providing the slipstream. JTK now goes to P5. James Taylor to the line. No, he's on outlap, as is his teammate Persegili. So I think Roy's the next one to come to the line, the number 85 Alpine. Thankfully they don't have to worry about all the managerial problems that Alpine are having in real life. But honestly, Alpine, if this is the way you're going to run a team, you might as well just sell yourself to Andretti and make it a bit more worthwhile. It's amazing how we always give Honda crap for not sticking around in F1. At least they tend to do better than Renault have ever done. 05 and 06 notwithstanding. A couple of yellows as cars are slowing down. But nothing more, no accidents from what I can see. If the yellows are staying constantly, it's probably because the cars are on low fuel mode or deliberately driving slowly. And Roy in the perfect position to actually get a slipstream here from Benjo. That will improve his lap time by quite a bit. Using the DRS, using the ERS, getting the slipstream as late as he dares, and that's good enough for P2 as a result. Benjo may live to regret that, because Roy wasn't the fastest guy in Q1, but he set a good, solid competitive time, and that will be a bit more difficult to displace. Even James Taylor there is only a 10th quicker than Roy. Gamma currently sitting P6. Other cars bailing for the pits. Bradley's on his lap. Persigili comes to the line. Lags his way across to second place. We saw that Dragon Ball Z style jump there. And Bradley, we'll see what he can do. And once again, it's these three. It's these same three. Tixie, Persigili, Bradley. Hopefully Tixie can have a bit more luck than they did in Imola. But judging from the initial pace, it's looking like we could potentially have at minimum a 3-horse race for the title. That's just my observations from these early stages. Long way to go, season. Long way to go. Bradley goes P3. The only two drivers not setting a time yet are Mali and Lil Glona, both on their outlaps. As Mali goes very deep. I'm not exactly sure if there's any tactical benefit to that. Certainly will do nothing for heating the tires. As Mali starts their run. DRS open. Maximum velocity. Braking point looks good. He's looking clean so far. Oh, I say that. I don't know if that counts as commentator's curse. Grazes the wall and has lost a bit of the end play. I think that's it for Mali. Whether they try and continue, I'm not sure. Lil Glona has kept it a bit cleaner. Benjo dives out of the way, and yes, Mali has called it quits there. Bit of a silly error, to be honest, especially when you're only setting a banker. Let's see what Lil Glona can do. At the minute in the drop zone, I am quicker. Zilly, Mali and Lil Glona are all in the drop zone. Two have not set a time yet, of course. And there's another bit of front wing gone, and that was Lil Glona's, but close enough to the end, I think, to try and keep going. But can they go full throttle through this sector? They're going to desperately try it. And they can. Okay, so maybe this won't be a waste after all. Certainly some time will be lost. Whether the lack of front aero actually helps with aerodynamics down the straight. It's good enough for P7, and that might be enough. It knocks Benjo into the drop zone. 3 of the ones who are about to be eliminated in the pits. Benjo starting another run. JTK very much on the cusp. Gamma half a second ahead of the drop zone, but still not feeling safe enough. Rickety is comfortable in the garage, it seems. Rocco's going for another run, maybe just a bit of practice. Kind of taking it very slowly. Riding the throttle and the brake for some reason. I wonder if that's a cheeky, breaky little tactic to get heat in the tyres, using the brakes by keeping them on, say, 25%, and using them, having that heat radiate into the tyres. Could be a fairly valid strategy for heating the tyres. We'll have to look into that. Meanwhile, Benjo looking to get out of elimination. He's coming up to this traffic. That's reasonably clean. Oh, that's not. That's Gamma, and he needs to get out of the way. Although he is giving Benjo a slipstream. And I think Benjo will, well, he won't shrug it off, let's put it that way. He'll just say, thank you very much, mate. Only gets him to P8, though. 1.1 off the lead. JTK into the drop zone. I am quicker, still in the pits. With 2:40 to go, I see movement. But that's actually a driver coming in. That will be Lil Glona, I imagine. Malay and Zilly on their outlap, and that is an Aston Martin leaving the garage. That is I am quicker. Rickety is also out there. JTK as Percy retires. He's safe. I was pretty sure he is. Unless there's some major improvements from these ones at the back here. 1.1. I mean, by that logic then, I'd say only top 6 are truly safe. Rickety now the driver on the cusp. Gamma is 4 seconds down, but he'll prep for another run from the looks of it. Mali has started their lap. What can they do? Time to beat is a 1:41.443. Mali, as I say, has not set a time, so can't say how far away from safety they are. Purple sector 1 apparently though, which bodes well. Doesn't bode so well for Rickety. Zilly has just started their run. Gamma is also on a run. And Roy has come out of the box. Is that to give his teammate a little tow? Looks like it is. Alpine playing the team game. Rubbing up against the wall slightly, but he seems to have lived. Will that be enough for Gamma B? We're about to find out if it's enough for Mali. It's actually getting much tighter than I thought it would at the end. Remember, 4 drivers go out here. As Mali opens DRS, makes for the line, and sets a time of 1:41.1. That's good enough for 6. Rickety is in the drop zone, and that's Benjo wrecking his front wing, so he better hope not many more people improve. Rickety comes to the line half a second quicker. He goes P6. JTK is out. That's confirmed. Gamma B is a 10th up. And he's lost his front wing as well. Gamma and Benjo lost front wing, so Gamma's gone. Gamma's out. It's all down to the Astons. Zilly goes to P12, but it's not enough to get out of qualification. I Am Quicker is, compared to his best time, about 9/10 off of safety. By 9.5, really. A lot of time to try and find. It's smooth, it's clean, but is it quick? 1 second quicker. Benjo may not make it. It's gonna be tight. I Am Quicker's last one to go over the line. I believe. No, wait, Molly will be last to go over the line. Doesn't need to. It's all for bragging rights at the minute. And I Am Quicker goes P9. Benjo's gone. So Benjo, JTK, Zilly, and Gamma B are all eliminated. 2 of them without their front wing in the process. Tixie takes the fastest time of the session. Rocco surprisingly up there in P2. And this should be interesting to watch in Q3. Let's see what is happening in the chat. It's all very quiet in there at the minute, I have to say. So you're saying hello in the chat. Hello, Casito. Glad to see that's working now. And there you go, confirmation of those eliminated. And why has Mali been eliminated? Excuse me? What? I'm gonna double check that. Okay, I really don't know why this has happened, folks, but we've only got 9 in the shootout. Well, this is rather unusual. Okay, apparently Mali had crashed into the pit wall. Which we didn't see, but that's fair then, in which case, yeah, their car's wrecked, so they can't take part any further. Mali will start P10. So, 9 drivers in the shootout for pole. Tixie, I Am Quicker, James Taylor, Bradley, Rocco, Persicili, Lil Glona, Rickety, and Roy begin the final assault. Lil Glona will be first to cross the line, flying the flag for AlphaTauri. All different constructors, you'll notice, apart from McLaren and Mercedes. which you have to say bodes well for those boys in the Constructors. Yes, the Constructors is a thing. And Bradley will not be enjoying it in that title battle. Well, they could have achieved so much more had they kept it out of the wall. But we will see. As the drivers begin their final runs. Purple sector obviously for Lil Glona. First one through. Bradley looks like they're going to be behind him. Followed by the two McLarens. A bit of a wiggle from Glona there, unless it was just the server trying to compensate for lag. We'll see what time Glona puts up on the board. Apologies for being very quiet, just sorting a few things. And across the line, a 141.4. Not the fastest time we've seen all day, so that will probably be displaced. Bradley, one of our favourites for pole, you'd have to say, will be next across the line. And does a 140.2. There should be Rickety behind, who does, that'll be a 41.4 from Rickety. He's 1.1 behind. Rocco is on an out lap, so he'll not be taking the line. I am quicker next. He's been very impressive so far in his first session in Power F1. And he goes P2. Still a second off of Bradley though. Let's see if James Taylor can do anything about that. He comes to the line. And also goes second, 2/10 off. That's a bit more like it in terms of the gaps. Roy, 3/10 off. Tixie, who was fastest in Q2, does take pole by 2/10. How will Persegili respond? With speed, I would imagine. He comes to the line, and it's only good enough for P3, 4/10 down. That's a bit surprising, but it is only bankers. Rocco, the last one to set a time at the minute, and he will do so on this lap. I tell you what, Rickety has waited for him. Looks like the McLarens are going to be doing a little bit of a strategic deployment. Well, Rickety's pulled away fairly sharpish. Don't know if Rocco's close enough to get the slipstream here. Maybe they're not doing that. Maybe it's every man for himself. Yeah, it's every man for himself in the McLaren camp. As Rocco comes to the line, it goes P6. So, the top six within a second of each other. Tixie is our current pole sitter. Riley's back in the box. Persegili is just coasting round. And presumably box and get ready for a second and final run. Rocco obviously will be coming back in as well. Everyone else is in the pits. Tixie coming around the pits as well. So, we wait patiently for the final runs to begin. Getting a lot of messages from our sponsors, Artemis Esports. And we did have confirmation that Mali did crash on pit entry. We missed that. Bradley takes another W. You should be watching our GOAT, the legend. Bradley equals max GOAT status. Bradley comes pole, I believe. Artemis, do enlighten us. Tell us about Bradley. What's the connection here, your GOAT? Former champion in your league, is he? I'm unfamiliar with the history of a lot of these drivers, I must say. But belief may well be required. He is our driver. Oh, right, you're a team, not just a league. Right, my apologies. Well, he's certainly being tested. Tixie's very quick, albeit was unlucky in Imola. And Persegili ran him ragged in Imola last time out, only being saved by a difference in tyre wear, it must be said, and a slightly slow pit stop. So it might be a bit tighter this time. Bradley has said he's not as good at this track as he would be at the likes of Imola, so it should make for an interesting race. And at the very least, we'll give your boys some good practice, one way or another. Meanwhile, back on the track, Lil Glona has emerged. Currently sitting in 9th, 1.4 off a pole. I would say the gaps between the drivers are much larger here than they were in Imola. But now they can all go around no holds barred. We've got Rickety also out there. Bradley has left the pits. He's making his final run. I suppose I should also ask, obviously you're posting in the name Artemis Esports, are you like the official social media representative of this group, whoever's typing? Or is this just some guy who's designated to, who's just got a hold of the account and decided to type? As I'm Quicker retires. He retired in the box, it looks like. Rocco is also retired, thinking that they can't do any more. I'm surprised they've called it there, but maybe being smart, maybe saving a set of softs for the race. It's a viable tactic. As Lil Glona starts their run. And we will watch the sector times. And that's Rickety. No, that. Wait, what? That was Rocco. Oh, that was Rocco pulling over the side and teleporting back. I thought that was Rickety in the wall for a second there. Sector 1. Up by 2/10, 2.5 That'll get him ahead of Rickety, possibly ahead of I Am Quicker. Apparently it's a purple sector 1 as well. Lil Glona really pushing here. Just keeps out of the wall at Castle. That was incredibly close. Coming up against a bit of traffic now. That is either James Taylor or Persegili, one of the Mercedes anyway. Slightly compromised line, but keeps it neat. And 4/10 up. That might be good enough to overhaul Rocco. But it's not the quickest lap we've seen. It's to the line. Comes Lil Glona. And it's good enough for P6. She does displace Rocco. Who else have we got coming around? Bradley should be next. And they're harvesting, apparently. But they're not going to have time to make around for another lap. Bradley's not going to get pole here. Ain't no way. 3, 2, 1. And that's it. your boy, Artemis Esports, is not going to get pole. It's second at best at the minute. But other drivers are out there. And thank you, Weatherman Casita. We have received word that there is rain forecast for the race. Rain is forecast. Unfortunately, that's something spectators don't get, is the weather forecast for some reason. I really don't know why we don't. I don't know whether it is... Casito, can you let us know, is it going to be like full wet? Is it going to be coming in like 45 minutes in? When's the rain due? As Rickety has crossed the line, he displaces Glenn for P6. Tixie has invalidated, so they're not able to improve. Roy displaces Bradley. He goes second on the grid. And this is a golden opportunity for Persegili. James Taylor getting the toe from Tixie. And goes pole by 0.3 of a second. Mercedes on the front row. Can Persegili lock out the front row for the Mercedes? That's a little Glona behind, so they're not improving because they're on their cooldown lap. Maximum power from that Mercedes engine. Is it enough? Is it enough? It's P2. So James Taylor taking pole position. From his teammate Persegili, a front row lockout for Mercedes. Tixie third, Roy fourth, Bradley down in P5. The Artemis Esports driver, his team watching. And that's not the result they were hoping for. As Frederick joins. Don't know whether he's listed as a reserve. Well, there's your confirmation. As I said, we got down to Bradley there in 5th. Rickety is 6th. Little Glone is 7th. Rocco 8th after a DNF. And I'm Quicker 9th after a DNF. I don't think they take penalties or anything. But that's a bit of an upset there. Casito reports, Icon was cloud with rain, but it seems that it's near the end, but I've seen where it was forecast to stay dry for the race, but was chucking it down in the race, so we have to wait and see. Possibly the same as Challenger yesterday. We had rain at about 45 minutes into the race, which wouldn't have been a problem had we not had 4 safety cars. So, depending on what happens on the track, the rain may well play a part in today's Grand Prix. Thank you, Weatherman Casito. As we load up for the race. Hopefully it doesn't glitch this time because we have no formation lap. They're just going to go straight to the grid and start the race. Aside from the DRS parts, it's a little bit tricky to overtake around here. What can Bradley do from 5th? Will James Taylor let his teammate through? Will team orders come into play for Mercedes at the start or at any point in this race? Can Tixie redeem themselves? What about Roy, the surprise of the session? Sitting there in P4. What will happen? What indeed around Baku? Okay, looking at what Casito has sent me, we're getting rain. It will be towards the tail end of the race, but it's full rain, it looks like, towards the tail end of the race, according to our weather forecast. But anyway, we'll find out as we get 5 red lights. And away we go. Seems to be a clean getaway from James Taylor. Persegili looks to the inside, but he's not got the same getaway as Tixie, who tries to go round the outside, but is blocked off from taking the lead. Tixie is up to P2. We've got a crash at the back. That's Mali into the wall, it looks like. And a 5-second penalty for Catastrophe for causing that collision. And we have, looks like a full safety car. Didn't see what happened in the back, but there's usually chaos at turn 1. Mali actually doesn't have damage. Mali survived that. Catastropheus has a penalty, but does he have damage? Someone's front wing flew off. We'll have to try and find out whose it was. It's not the Ferrari, it's not Casito, it's not JTK himself. Whose front wing flew off? Oh, hang on. It's I Am Quicker in the Aston Martin who's lost his front wing. Now, he's P11, so how on earth did that happen? It's a virtual safety car actually, and they are back to racing again. starting off in Sector 2. So it is James Taylor from the quick starting Tixie, from Persigeely, from Roy, from Rickety, who overtook Bradley off the line. Bradley down to P6. Now you can see the strategy at the bottom, 1 or 2 stopper recommended, as Bradley immediately wastes no time and zooms past Rickety. His fight back through the field will be very interesting to see, as Zilly is falling ever further back, and so is I Am Quicker. Catastropheus also dropping back. We've got yellows in Sector 2. Just temporary yellows, no permanent stops yet. Now we'll see the effect of the slipstream, as up the front, that looks like Tixie battling for the lead. And Tixie is in the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, but James Taylor will not take it lying down. Goes to the inside, further on back. Roy is pressurising Persigeely, but is unable to find a way through. No DRS, I remind you, for 2 laps. Casito, meanwhile, goes ahead of Gamma as Gamma retires in the pit lane, I think that was. No, he's blown up on the pit straight. It's a virtual safety car again, as Mali gets 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Now, where did Gamma blow up? Did he blow up on pit entry? He must have done, because his dot's not on the track. And, well, all those who had damage, who had penalties, this will ease the pain somewhat. Mali is in the pits, I Am Quicker in the pits, and Catastrophe is also in the pits. And has served his penalty, from what I can see. Yes, no, he had. Sorry, Mali was the one who had to serve the penalty, and Mali got off for 5 seconds. No, Catastrophe did have a penalty, but he has served it. Winner off the line. Biggest winner is Lil Glissa, up 9 spots. Biggest loser, aside from Gamma, who's retired, is I Am Quicker, down 7 spots. The tyres, most on mediums, a couple on hards, and Tixie, that's why they were so quick off the line, onto the softs, and they've done their job. Tixie has gotten the lead of this race. Now they have to hope that they can pull away from James Taylor and Persigeely. We'll check the team radios here, which I mean our Discord. Has Gamma B said anything? Thomas D asking Gamma what happened. Gamma saying, bro, I don't know, I'm cracked. As Bradley gets a drive-through penalty. That's disaster for Bradley. He was speeding under VSC. It can happen so easily with the Deltas, but just at the end of the lap there, Bradley has gotten a drive-through penalty. Is he going to serve it this lap? No, he is not. He's pressing on as DRS is activated, because safety car it's only full safety car that resets it. He's stuck behind his rival Persigeely at the minute. Persigeely looking to get past Roy, but he won't do that down into turn 1. What he might do is leave himself vulnerable as this DRS trainer lane begins, and Tixie doesn't have DRS but has the soft compound tyres to get away. You can see James only closing by a 10th there. Such is the grip of the softs, but how long will they last? And this is pretty huge news, that Bradley has a drive-through penalty. So what that means for anyone who doesn't watch F1, what that means is the pit lane, when you go in there, you have to go at a reduced speed through the whole thing. If it's a drive-through penalty, you just drive straight through the pits at that reduced speed. You're not allowed to make a pit stop, and you don't have to stop in the box. There are penalties that can be given for that. They're called stop-go penalties, but those are very rare, only used for super serious incidents. But a drive-through for speeding under VSC is not what Bradley needed. He had already had a worse qualifying session than he would have wanted. Lost out to Rickety at the start, which stopped his initial fight back. And now he's stuck behind his rival. He's watching the rear wing of Persigeely, his rival. And it's not like he can hold on to this. He has to serve it within 3 laps, and he's already passed one of those laps. Will Persigeely serve it on this lap? I mean, maybe he's hoping for a gap. There's no point. Some of you might say, well, why doesn't he hope for a safety car as Tixie goes fastest? And he does pit. He does go for his drive-through. You may be wondering why he doesn't, wait for a safety car and serve his penalty like Catastropheus did. Well, that would be all well and good, but you can only serve a time penalty under the safety car. A drive-through is not valid under safety car circumstances. You have to take it at racing speed. And that brings Bradley out in P13. Would have been P14, but Zilly went off at turn 1. And the rest are all quite spread at the back. So Bradley now 7 seconds adrift of the next car up the road, which is Casito in the Haas. 4 laps gone. And, well, Artemis Esports, I'm assuming you have a coach with him or a strategist with him. What's the plan now for Bradley? What can be done? You have to wonder. As we stick with him for a little bit. The field's starting to spread out somewhat now. Closest gap on track is JTK, who's hunting down Little Glissa for 10th place. We'll watch this battle, but we'll keep an eye on Bradley's progress through the field. Oh! As soon as I say that, Little Glissa into the wall, and another virtual safety car. I'm surprised that that is not a full safety car, to be particularly honest with you. Well, Bradley will get a free place, but unfortunately he really needed a full safety car to reap back his losses. Because what a virtual safety car does, the difference is if you have a full safety car, for anyone who doesn't know, a very nice Aston Martin supercar will come out and the field will all bunch up together. And after the rate instance is cleared, they will restart. With a virtual safety car, there's no actual car on track, but you are told to stick to a specific time per lap. If you go faster than that, you'll get a penalty, as Bradley did. But what it effectively does is it neutralizes the race and makes it safe for everyone to go round without anyone losing an advantage. Bradley now up to P9 as Benjo, Emre and Mali have all boxed, as Catastropheus now gets a drive through for speeding in the pit lane. Did anyone else get a penalty there? Catastropheus and Bradley. Is that another drive through? Or did he... It is! That's another drive-through! Bradley has got 2 drive-throughs this race. This has gone wrong for him so far. And that's putting it mildly. Artemis Esports, we await your response. What is the plan here? Because another drive-through will put him behind those who have pitted. As we've got yellows in Sector 2. That's a full safety car. As I Am Quicker is DNF'd. I think Emre was involved in that as well somewhat. No? Seems to be fine. But now, as Tixie is in the pits and there's the safety car coming out, does it pick up the leader in time? It does, I think. It does pick up James Taylor just in time. But now, Bradley has a new problem because he's pitting. But because it's under safety car, this will be an actual pit stop. He cannot serve the drive-through. So he goes to the hard compound tyres. He's gotten his pit stop out of the way, but then others have behind him as well. Mali, his teammate, coming into the pits as well. And Bradley comes out behind JTK. But he will come out, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, still with a drive-through. And what's worse is the field will all be bunched up. So, okay, he may not lose the same amount of gap he would have lost to the front runners, but he's going to fall to the back of the field. And I'm just trying to work out in my head, what would the plan be now? I mean, he's basically back on the same pit window schedule, but he's got a lot of fighting back to do if he wants to get anywhere near the front. I'm sure your boy likes a challenge, Artemis Esports, but he'd also like to win. So as it stands, let's have a look here. Let's just try and organize ourselves and figure out what's happening. Who has done stops? So James Taylor and Roy leading this race but have not stopped. Therefore on net leading it's Tixie. Tixie leads this race on the net. Persegili is now 4th, having made a stop. Rocco 5th, Galona 6th. Zilly has not stopped and is currently riding in 7th. Rickety is 8th, Casito 9th, Benjo 10th, JTK 11th. Bradley has stopped but has a drive-through penalty. Emre has stopped and is 13th. Mali has stopped twice and Catastrophias has also stopped twice. So unfortunately this is not so good news for James Taylor because he is out of sync with the pit stops now. Although he and Roy, and Zilly for that matter, did start on the hard compound tyres, which may, at the very least, cushion their advantage the blow. And depending on what happens with the safety car, it might actually benefit them in the long run, depending on how it all works out. So the field will start to bunch together. The safety car won't come in until all the cars are together by the time of Sector 3, which should be this lap. Catastrophes is coming down the back straight now, after all. And nothing new in the chat there. But now, what is the plan? Just gonna rest my voice for a bit. And we mustn't forget as well that we had the chance of rain as well, and the longer the safety cars and virtual safety cars stay out, the more of an impact that rain will have. Because it's not decided by the amount of laps passed before the rain comes, it's the amount of time that has passed in the session. If it was coming towards the tail end, I want to say it's about 45 minutes in. Casito, if you can hear me, try and give us a weather report, and if you're able to, let us know how long until rain potentially comes. What's your engineer saying? The safety car will come in this lap. So you'll see the lights go out on the safety car, it moves away, and James Taylor, for the time being, becomes the de facto safety car. He will control the pace of the field, and he will decide when they start. Now, there are restrictions to this. He's not allowed to erratically change speed. There's obviously some fluctuation allowed, but once he's sped up, say like he's gone to about 80 miles an hour there, he can't just break back down to 60. Fluctuation of about 5 miles an hour would be fine, so like 75, that's okay. And they're all bunched up. It's up to him when he decides they go. You can see them all pulling out, because they want to see when that lead car goes. Oh! I think that was a bit of a lag spike there, but Roy was nearly caught out by it. He doesn't have to go until the safety car line, until the timing line. He's still waiting. And he's gone. Did Roy get a decent getaway? No, he did not. Roy is under pressure from Tixie, who's under pressure from Persegili. They're under pressure all down the field. Further back, meanwhile, Rickety comes under attack from Casito. Casito is still on the inside. Bumps across the curb, and I think unsettles the car a little bit, but Rickety lives for another day. Now Casito under pressure from Benjo, I was going to say, but Benjo is under pressure from Bradley as he begins his fight back. And Bradley takes that position up the inside, but he himself comes under pressure from Enray. Enray to the outside. He'll not make a move around there, not around the outside, even with cold tyres on Bradley's car. Bradley up to P10, but with a drive-through in play there. The rest of them all pretty much as you were. Castillo was unable to make any further inroads onto Rickety as we watch Bradley begin his fight back. Are they all cleanly through Castle? They appear to be. And we're right on board with our current championship leader, but if it finishes as is, that is definitely not going to be the case. Of course, we're only on lap 8, so don't expect it to finish as is, but all the time that Bradley is fighting his way through the field, the other cars, his rivals at the front, are pulling away, and he will have to take that drive-through. I don't know if it resets the count if he has another 3 laps to take it, or if he's going to have to maybe take it this lap. He goes to the outside of Casito. Rickety also making a move past Zilly. Zilly must be running a very high downforce there because everyone is just breezing past him. And indeed, Bradley boxes this lap, squirming as he enters pit lane. And he goes all the way down to 15th. How far out will he be? He'll be Catastrophe. This will be the first car, the Ferrari, they'll have to overtake. And will he come under pressure? Speaking of under pressure, James Taylor, trying to defend from Tixie, positions that car well. Doesn't even give Tixie a run. Tixie does try a run to the outside. That's not going to happen unless they're already ahead by the corner. That was a brilliant move from Tixie. Tixie takes the lead of the race. James Taylor now really struggling as Roy looks to try and make the move, but Tixie has gotten through. Meanwhile, Bradley is about 8.5 seconds down on Catastropheus. His gap to the leader is 17 seconds, with a bunch of traffic in between. Tixie has now been freed, immediately broken out a second over James Taylor. Don't appear to be any sort of team orders, otherwise Percy would maybe James Taylor will be told to let Percy Gilly through, because Percy Gilly does seem to have pace and is in the lead, second in the championship at the minute. But it's so difficult to pass unless you're on the back straight. And James Taylor leading something of a train here. Like Jarno Trulli, there's a reason we used to call it the Trulli train. That blue dot you can see on the map is Bradley. Roy coming under pressure from Percy Gilly, who has the run, has the speed. And Percy Gilly ahead even before they activate DRS. Oh, sorry, of course, it was safety car, so DRS is disabled. He looks to the outside of his teammate, who brakes early, and Percy Gilly is up to second. James Taylor, I think, sort of letting him through a little bit there. Meanwhile, they're all bunching up behind him. And James Taylor now under pressure from Rickety, or no, sorry, that's Rocco. Rocco fighting past his way past Roy. Will go on board with him, and Lil Grona getting involved as well. This is a terrific scrap near the front of the field. Tixie, meanwhile, has pulled 2.6 seconds out at the front. Oh, and a little cheeky bump to Roy there as Lil Grona tries to take advantage and says thank you very much. Rocco is through, but look at these two squabbling behind. It's a great old tussle between the two. Roy falls down to 6th, Lil Grona up to P5. Rickety will try to follow his teammate through. But you're noticing, starting to see the pace difference coming through on some of these drivers. Whether the hards are just not to their liking or the setups are starting to play a part, we don't know. What we do know is Tixie is continuing to stretch their advantage. 3.2 the gap now. Bradley's closing in, 7.1 to Catastropheus. And then there's this juicy battle in the front part of the midfield. Meanwhile, further back, Zilly, dear love him, he's fighting hard, but he's finding himself a bit out of his depth there. I say that as Mali finds himself a bit out of control. Spinning up the rears, coming back just in front of Zilly. A little bit too overzealous on the throttle there, methinks. Then come the two Ferraris, and I wonder if Mali is trying to hold up this little back group of cars to help Bradley catch up, get through there quickly. Meanwhile, at the front, James Taylor is losing positions hand over fist. He's lost one to Rocco. He cuts Lil Glona's nose off despite her face. And weaving this way and that way, James Taylor does not have the pace in this stint to mount a serious defence. Percy Gilly closing in slightly on Tixie. 3.2, the gap is stabilised. And further back, Rickety has a little sniffer at Roy, but nothing doing. Benjo and Emery, the two teammates, having a go at each other. And that didn't look very much like team orders. That looked a bit rough and tumble there, if you ask me. It's still rough and tumble between the two of them. And they've taken each other out. Full safety car. Benjo's in the wall. Emre has lost a part of his front wing. Both parts of it, actually. And I'm not putting that as commentator's curse. I'm saying that was inevitable. Now, that does benefit Bradley somewhat because the field will re-bunch up again, but he's still stuck at the back and he's wasting time here. Not able to overtake. He'll lose 2 laps, maybe 3 laps, depending on how long the cleanup takes. He'll lose some laps. Stuck in 14th place, and also the cars in front may take advantage and try and pit, which leaves him with the dilemma of does he pit and fall behind, or does he try and maintain track position on the hard compound tyres? Bradley being met with dilemma after dilemma, and of course, looking at our messages, the rain is still a potential threat. Check the Discord here. As Persegili has pitted, so is Tixie. Rocco carries on. Tixie and Persegili switching to the mediums, and Persegili having front wing damage apparently. So that was another reason for him to pit, and that drops him well down the order. All the cars further back though pitting. James Taylor pitting. Roy pitting. Bradley does pit. Goes on to a fresh set of mediums. So Persegili's dropped well down. Rocco now leads this race, but Tixie has the freshest rubber. Benjo saying clean as F in my opinion. At James Taylor going unnecessarily slowly. I mean, James Taylor does seem to be quite off the pace. But Tixie's in a really good position here, assuming they can take those tyres to the end. And again, maybe a 3-stopper's the way. Switch to a set of softs for the final stint if you're able to pull it far enough. Relies on Tixie getting ahead of Rocco. But Tixie read that well. Realised most of the field was going to pit. And is the lead car on fresh rubber. Next car down is Persegili, but he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, he's got 6 old hard runners between him and Tixie. Well, I wasn't expecting this when I saw your grid at the start of the session. Anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. Nice pen, James Taylor. We've got no penalties, so I assume that's a slang term, so I don't know. Gamma B scares and confuses me sometimes, that's all I'll say. But I'm gonna rest my voice a little bit. Unsportsmanlike conduct, buddy. They're saying that he was unsportsmanlike. I think it was just a lack of pace. Which, you know, yeah, it's not good, but, you know, it's not illegal to be off the pace. It's not wise. It's not illegal. We are back. You join us as we're about to start lap 14, where we're going to get back up to racing in just a minute here. Rocco will lead the field away from Tixie, Lil Glona, Rickety, Castillo, JTK, Mali, Catastrophe, Persegili, and Roy, your top 10. Word on the Discord there, apparently James Taylor was going in about 5th gear down the back straight. Now if he was, if there's proof of that, then that could have serious consequences. If he was holding people up for his teammate, which is technically allowed, but provided you keep a decent racing speed while doing it. We saw Perez do it back in 2001, holding up Hamilton for Max Verstappen. As Rocco leads the field, he's doing by 100 miles an hour, there or thereabouts. And he's bolted. And the field goes underway. Tixie seems to have gotten a decent launch there. We're all keeping it decently clean further back. Mali tries a move. And Catastropheus, bit of argy-bargy there. But looks to be through cleanly. Roy tries to get ahead of Bradley. Where is Bradley? He's wheel to wheel, quite literally, with Catastropheus, and they're both in the wall. And Bradley has damage, does he not? No, he doesn't, but Catastropheus will not be happy with that. Catastropheus will say, I was against the wall, I couldn't move any more. And Bradley really did hold his line where he didn't need to, so all that advantage that he gained under the safety car is kind of gone now. Meanwhile, the other Ferrari of JTK has slipped back behind Persegili, who begins his fight back through the field. And JTK is also passed by Emre, and that's going to be messy. As Zilly, I'd run. I'd pull your car into the pit, Zilly, and run, because these guys are feckin' lethal today. Save yourself. He's on the tail of JTK at the minute. I don't think he's going to get past him here. Got a message from Benjo, who has posted a clip. Well, maybe check that out after the race, and he might well submit to the stewards as evidence. It wasn't on stream, but he's showing a clip, apparently, of what happened with James Taylor. Speaking of James Taylor, he's hunting down a double overtake here, potentially. He blitzes past JTK. No DRS, of course, so JTK must be running a quiet downforce 77. Goes up to P10. Up at the front, Casito. What's happened to Casito? He's gone wide at turn 1. James Taylor, it's all kicking off, has gotten ahead of Mali, meanwhile. And I wonder if Mali and Casito had a little coming together there, because I would explain why Mali's dropped so far down. Bradley's now in P11 on his fight back. In front we can see JTK going to the outside of Mali. They're going to go into the wall because they're being absolute menaces. The driving standards are getting a bit shocking here, guys. As Bradley says thank you very much and takes P9. He's hunting down James Taylor. And oh my god, we have a massive pile up. That's Rickety into the wall. Oh, and that's who's that? Is that Mali? No, it's Bradley. And he reset the track. He's not allowed to do that. That might be a penalty coming Bradley's way again. What is going on? There's no safety car, but I'm not sure what instigated that pile-up. I saw Rickety backwards. Whether he had a spin by himself on that curb, I don't know, as Casito has hit the wall and spun at the top of Castle. What is going on here, ladies and gentlemen? So Catastropheus is now the back. Right, let's just try and take stock here. Tixie, meanwhile, is just happily whistling a tune like she's on blimmin' Steamboat Willie. And, you know, sailing off down the river. Rocco is 5 seconds behind, but there's a decent gap. Little Glone is in P3. Roy is the nearest one in battle. He's under attack from Persegili. And Mali has retired. What the hell happened there? DRS enabled. There's no safety car. I think they've used all their safety cars. Jeez, that was close for Casito. And Rickety's in the wall as well. I think Rickety and Mali had it coming together, but Casito darn near lost his whole car there. We've got Bradley in the pits. He obviously had damage. James Taylor is collecting every single car along his way, it seems, as he's chasing down Zilly for P7. This has been a bit of a mare of a race in this second stint, I have to say. I remind you, these are pro drivers, or they're supposed to be. But it seems that the walls that contain the cars around Baku also seem to contain and bottle up quite a bit of anger. Gamma and Benjo immediately jumping on Rickety. Why you so goated? Leave him alone, fellas. Considering the way some of the driving's done, it might well have been Marley, but anyway, we'll have a look at the clips afterwards, I'm sure. Meanwhile, where's the nearest gaps on track? And still Zilly and James Taylor who are close to the main. We've only got 12 cars left in the race. Granted, that's more than Challenger had at the end yesterday, but we had rain as an excuse. Speaking of which, that's still due to arrive, isn't it? At some point. Little Glona. As Persically gets past Glona, Persically must be running 0-0 wings at this point. Glona comes back at him though, and zips past. Look at the power of the slipstream. Don't cut in front of him in the braking zone. Jeez, that could have been nasty. Drivers ain't missing a bite anymore, least of all Persically. Poor old Bradley, after another pit stop, is 16 seconds down on Casito, down in P11. As he zips past. Persically knows full well he could take the lead of the championship in this race. Tixie fighting back for a race that really should have been a lot better last time out. Rocco and Roy, I think, are just happy to be here at this point. Although Roy might be getting a bit angry here because he's come up behind Rocco and he's looking to get past. What do we think, viewers? What are the odds of a crash here? My money... These two have been decently clean. I'm going to say it's a 3-to-1 chance. As we try and get the stream back up here. See if there's any more posts. Nope, no new posts there. But Rocco really starting to come under pressure. Of course, he's on the old hard compound tyres. And hello, Persically's caught right up again. Potential double overtake for Persically. He watches in the wings. He's waiting. Dixie has lit blue touch paper and retire. Not in that sense of retire, but it's a very old saying. And trying to go for the double overtake, squeezing him into the pit wall like Schumacher did on Barrichello. Persically has none of it and does the double overtake and gets P2. Roy, despite doing an overtake, remains in third. Oh, was that a bit of argy-bargy there? I think there was a slight touch. He had to get out of the throttle, I think, there. Rocco maybe will take advantage. Looks to the inside, but he's too far back. And Persically, I think second might be the best he can hope for because Tixie is 10 seconds up the road near enough. 8 to go. Tires, 6 laps on the mediums. They'll be dead by the time they get to the end. Rocco will surely have to pit, so will Lil Glona. Bradley's on the softs. Now, theoretically, he could make it to the end. Shouts to Emery, who's 12 places up, by the way. He could theoretically make it to the end, but the tyres will be absolutely shot by the time he gets there. So its damage limitation has been really since that virtual safety car for Bradley. And, well, the twists and turns of a Formula 1 race, I suppose. We're still not at the end yet. Don't count any chickens yet. Because anything could happen. A reminder that from this race so far we have lost Gamma B, Lil Gissa, I Am Quicker, Benjo, Mali and Rickety. They are all DNFs. Oh, and Rickety actually... Oh dear. So Mali blew up into the wall and Rickety smashed into her car. Poor Rickety. Poor lad. Never did no harm to no one. Back to the race at hand. It's Roy and Persegili who are the closest battle on track at the minute. As JTK pits, so is Lil Glona. And the Haas of Casito hopefully looking to get some points today as a result. Whoa, that was a teleport and a half. Hello, netcode. What is going on here? Roy is teleporting everywhere. What the heck? Everyone's teleporting everywhere. What on earth? Oh no. Oh god. The netcode is dying. Now, whether it's everyone's or whether it's just the EA servers, I don't know. It's stabilized a little bit there, I think. But Rocco somehow dropped 2 seconds down. Okay, I think they're stabilized. Don't cross the beams. Didn't Ghostbusters ever teach you anything? And they're all finally settling down a little bit. 20 laps and about 6 bodies after they should have done. Bradley has made his way up into the points on his fight back. He's 4 seconds behind Casito now. As Rocco does get overtaken by Emery. I thought that was another lag spike. And he's still lagging everywhere. And Roy is still lagging with Persegili. It's Roy and Rocco that are lagging quite a bit. I wonder if that's EA netcode doing some shenanigans. Hopefully we haven't got desync in the server. Because that would be quite disastrous. Meanwhile, what can Bradley do? 6 laps. He's another 6. He might get P8. Possibly P7 if he's lucky, but I don't think he'll get much higher than that. If at all. It's not gone well for Bradley today. It'll be one of those races where he'll look back and yeah, a lot of it wasn't his fault, but he made his mistakes as well. Can't really blame anyone for speeding except yourself. And the poor old Ferraris of Catastrophe and JTK. Much like real life. It's been a torrid afternoon for the prancing horses. Dixie, so far. Just keeping it nice and steady, conserving those tyres somewhat, I think. The 10-second gap doesn't really have much to worry about, to be honest. Someone who does have something to worry about is Emre, as he's under pressure from Rocco. In battle for 4th place. And James Taylor coming back into a bit as well. Round the bend we go. I'd say apologies for the race getting a bit boring, but I think we need a bit of boredom at this moment in time, because now how on earth has that happened? Casito's been overtaken, and Bradley's now 11 seconds behind Lil Glona. I'm not quite sure how that works, to be honest, but whatever. So Bradley now has something of a mountain to climb. He's got 6 laps, including this one, to do it. And if anyone can do it, it's probably Bradley, but P8, if he's able to get that high, might well be his limit today. There'll be points, and every point counts in a battle for a championship, but come the end of the season, if he doesn't win it, this may be one of those races he'll look back on and say, could have done so much better here. Oh, what on earth was that? Did he bump the wall? I'm so confused what's happening here. Looked like another bit of desync on my end. I don't know if the drivers are seeing this. Chat on YouTube, is anyone else noticing this, or? again, looks like it's stabilised. Now the gap is 12 seconds for Bradley. He's burned through a lot of stuff. And we've lost a bit of front wing again. That is Enray. Once again, the Alfa Romeo has shed its front wing. At this point, it might as well be like a lizard losing its tail. James Taylor nips on through with no effort at all. And Emre... Okay, cancel that. Maybe Bradley will get a bit further up because you guys are just smashing yourself into the wall like nothing else. Emre in the wall for the second time today. First time was with his teammate. Second time was at turn 1 with, I can only assume, Rocco. Can't see if Rocco has any damage. It doesn't look like he does. Zilly, meanwhile, who is new for this week and has really just been toddling his way around, minding his own business for the most part, is currently sitting in P7. He'll probably get passed by Glona, but he's done well to just keep it out of the wall so far. He's just minding his own business, plodding along. Nice afternoon, wave to the people. Sniff the flowers. Listen to your favourite beats. Christian motorist, so to speak. Are we sure it's not James May driving that Aston Martin? No, I'm kidding. I know he does have a bit of front wing damage. Glona will probably go through. We've got yellows. That is just as Enray has blown up into the wall. Thankfully, no one else gets collected. Bradley will try and pass where the stricken corpse was and make his way up into P8. As Zilly does lose out to Glona. But soldiering on. Catastropheus will be grateful of the point, I would imagine. Probably thinking he could get a whole lot more on offer. And now that point is on offer, whether JTK will be quite so willing to hang back anymore remains to be seen. Sorry, something in the eye there, I think. Ow. Maybe just a bit dry, eh? And just watching the two Ferraris is the closest gap on track, second only to Rocco and James Taylor. Two Mercedes starting 1 and 2, now running 3 and 4. Gap at the front has come down ever so slightly, 9.8 the gap now, but that really won't be enough to make much of a tangible difference to Tixie, as Roy is already recharging his battery and coming under pressure from Persigili. Meanwhile, Tixie with 62%. Basically, the amount of cars around them is equivalent to the amount of Fs they give, I would imagine, at this point. He cares not. They care not. Meanwhile, back with Tweedledee and Tweedledoo in the battle for 4th. As Roy retires. Where's that? Oh no, he went wide on the exit curb. So Roy's out. We've used all the safety cars, so there won't be any there. I think he will still classify, but he'll be out of the points. James Taylor will move up to the podium places, which is good news for Mercedes. Gap now 12 seconds. Bradley will move up another spot. He'll get P7. So clawing back some points. Roy will be so disappointed with himself for letting that incident happen 2 laps from home. And Rocco now has a car to control, but also has all the more reason to try and pursue James Taylor, because now a podium is up for grabs. I think James has it well in hand though at the minute. They were similar on ERS, although Rocco has started burning more of his now. Gamma leaves the session. Obviously he was rooting for his teammate there in the stands, but both Alpines DNFing. And both will be out of the points. Only drivers now will all score points. Because even if they DNF from here, they've all completed 90% race distance. So it's now just a case of bring your car to the end and collect your points. So the only battle on track at the minute is Rocco James Taylor. And Rocco's certainly keeping Taylor honest. The medium's obviously wearing out a bit more, but Rocco's are slightly older. I mean, I can't really see anywhere that he could get through. James Taylor has the straight line speed. I think Rocco went for more downforce oriented setup. He's sticking with him in the corners, but as Bradley gets a 3-second time penalty to add to his woes. So even if he did catch up to Zilly somehow, he'd have to pull 3 seconds ahead, which ain't gonna happen in one lap, to be brutally honest, unless there's some kind of disaster. And if Bradley makes any more mistakes, JTK could be in with a shout. Casito will survive from the looks of it and hold on for at least a point. He's got one more lap to survive with Catastropheus behind him. JTK got ahead. We didn't actually see where that was happening. It's the battle for 9th place now that's the closest one, as Rocco has dropped back behind a second outside of James Taylor's gap. And can Catastropheus snatch an extra point for the Scuderia? Casito being very cautious in the back corner. He obviously wants to defend it for what he's worth, but there's no point losing more time, as I think someone has lost a bit more than time. I think GTK's lost a bit of his front wing. Let's have a look-see. And no, he hasn't, apparently. It looked like he had. It's going to be pretty tight for the two of them at the end, as Castillo waves a bit wide, he loses the rear, comes under pressure. Catastropheus will have to try and go around the outside on the approach to Castle. That's going to end in disaster. Someone's going in the wall. And in the meantime, Tixie does claim the victory, and they both go in the wall as Catastropheus retires from the session. Casito will come across the line without a front wing. Saw that coming a mile away. Tixie takes the win. Persigili will take second and the lead of the championship by my count. James Taylor holds on to third, though would have loved the win from pole. Rocco, will he survive to take fourth? No, he's denied over the line. Little Glona just taking it by a 1/10.5. Rocco finishes P5. Quits immediately in a rage. Zilly holds on to 6th for his first result. Well done him. JTK did close the gap, but not enough. Bradley will take P7 and JTK will be just out of range. Finishes a second behind in 8th, and Casito, minus a front wing, will take home 2 points. Catastropheus did finish enough laps, he will be classified. But Tixie is your race winner today. Good showing from the Haas driver. Zilly gets driver of the day. And honestly, just for keeping his nose clean, I think he deserves it. As the finish flag comes out onto the top step. 2 Finns on the podium along with a Czech as well. Rocco's not happy with Glon, whoever Glon is. Oh, Glona. Sorry, that'll be Glona. Okay, moving to take that position after I was lagging. Apparently he was lagging. Didn't look like lag on my screen. But anyway, there's your final positions. Tixie, Persicili, James Taylor, Gluna, Rocco, Zilly, Bradley, JTK, Casio, Catastrophius. Roy will be classified but won't score any points. Emre, Rickety, Mali, Benjo, I Am Quicker, Lil Glissa, and Gamma be your DNFers. Let me just get the screen cap of the positions with their times. We'll post those into Pro chat. Well, that certainly happened. That was a race. I don't think we can deny that it was. Now, once the lobby exits here, I will exit the game and we will take interviews from people. Ow, there is something wrong with my eye, or something in my eye. And I cannot get it out. Bear with me, folks. I will just exit out of this and get ready for the interviews. Once again, I unfortunately didn't have time to change the commentator screen, so Thomas D will be with me in spirit. So let me turn the light on here, folks. And not kill myself on my own wire. There we go. And let's see. Oh, we've got quite a few people waiting in the interview room. A lot of people unhappy in the chat. Kind of the nature of Baku, to be honest. I still don't know why we race here, to be honest, but anyway. Always makes for a chaotic race. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers in the interview pen. I feel like we'll get our DNFers first, so let's bring in... We'll bring in Gamma first of all.
Oh,
Gamma,
hello.
you were
Hello.
sitting in the interview room. Probably going to be a very short interview because it was a rather short race for you. What exactly happened? Roy, why are you in here?
Because he's my backup, mate. You know what happened? Basically.
Well, no, hey, no, clear out. This is an interview. This is the interview room. Clear out.
What happened is, so I got wing damage on lap 1.
Uh-huh.
But I was keeping my nose relatively clean, you see.
Uh-huh.
But then someone slid into me.
You have any idea who it was?
No, I don't know. It's not that deep. It's not even real, I don't think. But listen. But what was crazy is this is a fun fact. I just got off of a flight 2 hours ago, and like I got home 5 minutes before the race, and I hadn't played the game in 10 days, so I was a bit, fresh, you know.
Oh no, wait, I quoted your post while I was commentating there. So no, you did well to get in the Q2. To be honest with you, but I mean, you saw the race yesterday, and as much as Rickety may say Rickety may say, oh well, it's down to the drivers. Well, it is. Well, Pro wasn't much better, to be brutally honest.
Yeah.
They didn't even have rain as the excuse,
Yeah.
So
You're right. That's factually true. I am shit. I'm terrible. But
don't worry, I am as well.
Yeah, you're better than me, mate. You're the goat.
I appreciate it, but I don't know. I suppose you ask, do you see us do you not see a pattern here? Should we keep Baku on the calendar?
No, personally, I hate it, but it's alright.
I mean, it just seems to cause too many collisions and too many.
No, it's just a bit boring. It's a bit boring as well. It's just right-handers, right-handers, left-handers.
90-degree hard braking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take your point.
I like a bit of curves, some minimum speed added to it,
Oh yeah,
just
absolutely.
bold.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. You know what I've got right now, Lars?
What?
Papa John's pizza, mate. It's sick. It's really
Okay.
good.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
let you. I've got stuff I need to rush off here too, so I'll let you get back to the paddock
Mm.
and enjoy the pizza with your mates there.
Thank you,
We're
bro.
going to try and fly through these interviews because most of the ones in the pen are actually DNFers. So,
Yeah. No, talk to Roy, bro. He's the goat.
well,
Good,
sort
really
of
good
going to try
race.
and go through them in some sort of order. So next, I think it'll be Benjo because he DNF'd next. So
Yeah.
we'll bring him
He's
in. But
terrible, bro. He's terrible, but.
well, keep it for yourself. Thanks for that. Benjo, he's
Yeah.
deafened though at the minute, so I'll not bring him in. And so you pop out
Get Roy.
now.
Get Roy. All right.
Alright, we'll
Thank
get
you,
Roy
mate.
in next.
Thank
We'll
you.
get Roy.
Yeah.
See ya.
This is
Roy, my boy.
the greatest race before it wasn't.
Two laps to go. What happened?
I just turned right on a straight because that's what you do.
Did you? I saw it was in like the entrance to sector 2. Did you hit the inside curb and have to counter?
No, I just got too much on the gas and I just couldn't save it for some reason because I'm just bad. I've had an entire race at Baku without hitting the wall properly and doing anything wrong, and then they just hit the wall, of course. When I'm P2, I've been P10 and P7 in the past 2 races, and then suddenly I qualify P4 and have the race of a lifetime, and then I just,
Mate,
of course I died.
I know exactly how you feel. I was P10, P9 in the previous 2 races. Got up really high on the race last night and then blew up. We're in the same boat, mate. We're in the exact same boat.
Exact same. But no, of course the first safety car I didn't pit, which was a mistake because the people the one Persegili or James Taylor, one of them pit behind me and then came out behind me again. So I should have pitted there, but it was okay because the second safety car was there to save me, and then I pitted, and then I just got past Persegili on the restart, which was really good for me because then I could overtake the people in front of me just by myself and then build a bit of a gap. But then he got back up to me when I got to Rocco because he kept me behind, and then I couldn't get out of the ES, and then he obviously hit the wall at the exit of turn 1. You didn't see any of it. You were just, it's all stabilizing right now. And then he hit the wall, and I overtook him into turn 2.
Mm-hmm.
But and then he got wing damage, and I was just building a gap, just racing to the end. And I was just talking with Gamab and Benjo, and they were just saying, "All right, just chill. You just gotta make it to the end." And then I didn't make it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Never listen to those two is what I've heard.
Honestly, they were actually helping because Gamap retired early, so he could be my racing.
Nah, mate, to put a spin on it, Gamma's not even real. I don't think.
Yeah,
he's not even real.
He's just got a pizza from Papa John's. And
I was going to say he's advertising his blooming pizza in the.
It's not even real. He's just an AI, honestly.
He's literally Danny Ricciardo with a monotone voice. Just comes in here eating pizza and getting crumbs all over the interview booth. But anyway. Got quite a few people to go through, so hard luck. Hopefully better luck in Spain.
I'm shit at Spain, so it's going to be like P10 maximum.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about that chicane on the third sector anymore. So
yeah, that's nice.
But anyway, thank you for joining us there. I think we'll bring in Benjo next. So thanks for that, Roy, and best of luck on the next one.
Yeah, bye.
Oh shit.
Benjo.
Whoa.
The golden rule of Formula 1 is do not collide with your teammate.
It wasn't my
To
fault.
say that you two collided would be something of an understatement. What happened?
Okay, it was my fault. He dived into me and then he pushed me off the track. And then we went side by side, that's fine. But then he just turned into my right front wheel and that caused me to spin and hit the wall. And I don't know how my wheel came off because it was reduced damage, so it's weird.
Well, it's not reduced damage, it's standard damage.
Oh, I don't know. Gamma said it's reduced, so I don't know.
It shouldn't be. We run standard damage.
I don't know. Well,
but anyway, did you have a chat with him already, or
no, I don't even know who he is.
did he message you or anything?
No, I don't know who he is. I haven't seen him type once. I don't know.
So he's just walked away from it all. Well, not much to talk about considering that's what happened.
Yeah, it was cold.
Spain is next track. Your thoughts?
Well, the pit entry is going to be fun because there's like a bump. It's going to
That's
take
true.
out some people. So
What
that's going
about
to be
the
fun.
lack of that third sector chicane, though?
Yeah,
Should
watch
make
me
it at
turn
least
this
a
bit.
lip. Should make it a bit more. I don't want to say interesting, but a little bit less likely for you to want to end your own life going through there.
I'll turn into watch. I'll take the chicane for you.
Take the old
I'll
racing
do
line.
Yeah. But no, I hate the last turn. I don't even know if I should lift or take it flat out or brake. I don't know.
Half throttle. Well, 3/4 throttle is what I've found personally.
Yeah, you need to win this time.
I do basically. I was talking to Roy and we're saying how we're basically in the same boat. Really low positions the first 2 races, qualified better in this race in Baku, and then both mess it up.
That was cold yesterday.
Hey, at least we look. At least Challenger had the excuse of rain. That's all I'm saying. You guys had a 50% DNF ratio, and you didn't even have rain.
Yeah, it was like I was watching the stream on lap 10. It was like sunny, and I watched on the last lap, and it was like raining and
It was
everything.
torrential. It was atrocious, mate. It was atrocious. And of course, everyone else is running no ABS, which means they're able to feel their brakes a lot more. I'm running ABS. I'm like, okay, pray to the gods that the brakes actually behave this time. Some corners they did, some corners they didn't. So,
yeah, I had so much front locking. I don't know why.
which is amazing considering I had ABS, so I shouldn't technically be able to lock the tires. So but anyway, yeah, not much more to say. Got more people to get through, so I'm gonna crack on here.
Yeah, I got rickety.
Yeah, because he was the next one to DNF, wasn't he? So we're going to get him in next already.
Yeah.
In fact, we'll drag him in here. So thanks very much, Benjo, and best of luck in Spain.
Yeah, thanks.
Rickety, rickety, rickety.
What's up, mate?
I am going to use this race as further evidence that Baku should burn to the ground. Because you guys didn't even have rain. And you had a 50% DNF ratio. What happened? What happened to you first of all? Because that was the one instance I missed. I cut back to where the yellow flag was, saw you facing backwards, and the entire field sort of doing like truck cars on a railway siding bumping into each other.
You mean in Sector 2?
Yeah. So what happened there, Rickety?
Well, I don't know. I just took my normal line and broke at my usual spot. When there is a car ahead, of course you need to brake earlier. That's just common sense. Mm-hmm. I did that, and then I got bumped from behind from someone. I think it was Roy Daniels or something.
Right.
So I just got bumped from behind, and yeah, just that whole lap turned into a mess.
And then later on, did you hit Molly's car? I think it was.
The thing is, right, I think there is one thing that's severely broken in terms of, hallelujah, it's EA. Big news. But, like, it's, for me, I think, I'll tag you. You can see a TierShot Pro, right?
Yeah. People are talking about lag and stuff in there.
I'll show you this.
No, we did notice on the stream that Rocco and I think Roy were jumping back and forth a little bit. Yeah, I saw that post. The why the F is this solid? Yeah, well, it's because it's a car, Rickety. No.
The thing is, right? Of course, I was really close to JTK because JTK carried some damage, so I was following closely. So when you follow someone closely from behind, your only focus is usually that car.
Wait, did JTK goes through it? Yeah,
that's the thing.
But you
JTK
didn't.
Goes through it. I didn't know.
Oh
at that
my
point.
gosh!
The thing is, I thought either JTK just squeezed past, or he didn't. I'm not too sure. It just happened too fast. And basically, from what I could see, because I was so close, all I could see was a Red Bull popping up behind JTK, and it was solid. Like, it was not ghosted or anything, which
it was
usually
real, as Gamma would say. It was real.
Yeah. So, like, obviously, I tried to make some maneuvers to avoid that incident, and I tried to squeeze into the only place that I could really, which is the left side of the car. But obviously, I hit the wall and grinded the wall, so it took off my wheel, which is a shame because we had a solid qualifying both of the cars into Q3. We constantly were in the points. Ahead of the lower midfield teams, I would say we were constantly fighting for top 5, etc. So it's a shame that we ended up with this result. And yeah, no, nothing could be done. So I don't know what to do. It's just such a shame. Well, Spain is next up.
I was going to say Spain, yes.
I've not put that much practice into it, I'll be honest. The new track there is definitely going to be something different. And now that, we had Spain in time trial for sign-up. But now I think we're a few months into the game cycle, so I think people will get, better setups, putting in with faster times than before. So, just gotta be better at it. That's basically it.
Yep. Well, I mean, you've said everything you really could there, so just hard luck, I guess.
Which is a shame. I had a hat trick here. I had a hat trick of wins.
Emphasis, you had a hat trick.
I had. So, I think, hat trick of wins in Baku. But obviously, I don't think I would have won it. But
hey, you never know.
Still, I mean, clearly I could have fought for top 3 because a bunch of other people retired because of just how bad the tire wear is around this track. So, yeah, lots of wheel spin. But anyways, thank you for commenting once again. You're absolute legend.
No worries.
Much love towards you.
No, you're all right. No, it didn't bore me.
All right, well, see you. Have a good one.
Yep, see you around, man. Right, who is left in the chat? Casito is posting a message of him shouting. Oh god, interviewing room at the moment. Do you know what? I'm gonna wade in here.
I was just taking I only DNF for my pizza, bro. I'm gonna be real.
The heck is going on in here?
Bro,
I would leave if I were you.
You know what? I couldn't.
Lars, is
Chaos.
that,
It's honestly chaos.
the Mercedes hold up the people, right?
Yeah, no one cares though.
Do you know what? There's too
just
many in
about
here.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
There's too many in here, and the
That's
stream's not been and the stream's been going for too long. So I'm just gonna ask a couple of quick fire questions, okay?
Okay.
So, Casito, what the hell happened on the last lap?
It's trash.
Benjo, I'm not talking
That-
to you. Sit down, young man.
Sorry,
whoa!
You can see it.